Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So I'm doing something a little bit different today because I'm on camera, and I thought I would do a little bit of a TLDR version. So in other words, too long didn't read, a quick summary of the recent allegations and drama against the biggest YouTuber in the world, MrBeast. So I've seen other videos about this, it's been quite a widely talked about topic, but I thought I would just do a very quick summary of the main points of the allegations and everything that's happened. Just to make it clear, I'm only going to be talking about things in the public domain that other people have said. None of this is my opinion, I'm simply reporting on it, and I won't be giving any of my personal opinions. This is purely just for entertainment and educational purposes. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so we'll start off by talking about who MrBeast is, in case you're one of the people who hasn't heard of him. So MrBeast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson, is an American YouTuber who's 26 years old, and he's become the biggest YouTuber in the world with over 300 million subscribers. You may have seen some of his videos advertised on YouTube, and he does these big budget competition style videos or big stunts, for example, where he buries himself alive or he builds a chocolate factory. And then in more recent years, he's done videos involving other people, which are kind of more like game shows, such as a Squid Game video in real life. And in all of the videos, they're very big budget with people able to win lots of money from the videos as well. And MrBeast has become extremely popular, especially with a younger audience such as children, but also adult, because his videos are very high budget, well produced, and they're very quick transitions, very interesting to watch. And also he was very much applauded because he seemed to be a very genuine person who what he said in the videos did actually happen. He would give away the prizes he said. People actually were given the money that they promised. And that was his whole persona of being this very wholesome, honest YouTuber. And because of his incredible success since he started on YouTube many years ago, and he's now become the most popular YouTuber ever, he's kind of become the sort of golden child of YouTube. And he has done lots of collaborations with the official YouTube channel, talking about new features, how to grow your channel. And he's also been on lots of really high profile podcasts as well. So like I said, he's kind of become the poster boy for YouTube and successful YouTubers. And MrBeast's channel has now grown to the point where he now has about 250 employees, and he also has his own chocolate company called Feastables and also a fast food chain called MrBeast Burger. So he has grown an entire empire as well as YouTube. But in more recent years, as his popularity increased, he also got a lot of criticism from people for various things. So we're going to go through a timeline of everything that's happened, including the very recent allegations of some quite serious stuff. So as I said, MrBeast was known for doing these very wholesome videos that had a very quick pace, a lot of money being given, almost like watching a game show but on YouTube. But he did get some criticism from people. For example, he did a few videos where he gave cataract surgery to people who were blind, and in other ones he built wells for people in Africa who couldn't afford them. And although he was doing these acts that were seen as being very generous and charity based, a lot of people were accusing him of exploiting these people who don't have the money to do it for themselves. And although MrBeast said he gives lots of money to charity and things like that, people were saying that it still is exploitative, and he has had some criticisms over the years because of that. But some of the more recent accusations of more serious things came in more recent years. For example, in July this year, one of MrBeast's long-term collaborators and childhood friends named Ava Kris Tyson was accused of having an inappropriate online relationship and sending messages to a minor in the Discord server. So Ava Kris Tyson is a childhood friend of MrBeast, previously went by the name Chris, but then transitioned to female and then became Ava Kris Tyson. So as I said, in July this year, some old messages from the MrBeast Discord server, which Ava was moderating, they came to light, and it turned out that Ava had apparently been conversing with a person who at the time was 16 years old, and their username was LavaGS, and Ava had apparently sent some inappropriate messages to this minor. And the user LavaGS originally said that they were just edgy jokes and it wasn't actually anything serious, but later seemed to somewhat change their tune and say they don't believe that they were groomed, but they did say that Ava's messages were inappropriate. And there were a few other people who also made accusations that Ava had sent inappropriate messages to them when they were underage. When these accusations of this inappropriate conversations with minors came to light, Ava posted an apology and she said that she was stepping away from MrBeast. When these accusations against Ava came to light, though, MrBeast released a statement on X saying that he was disgusted by this and that because of it, Ava had been removed from the company and there would be an investigation. However, that's only one part of the allegations, and there were some more that came out afterwards. So, Rosanna Pansino is a well-known YouTuber who has over 14 million subscribers, and she took part in a previous video which was called YouTuber Hide and Seek on MrBeast's channel, where lots of famous YouTubers played a game of hide and seek. However, when the video came out, Rosanna publicly came out and said that MrBeast had edited her out of the video and made her look like she performed worse in the video than she actually did, and that she and another contestant were actually placed higher in real life, but in the video they were made to look like they didn't get that place. And she also claimed that MrBeast changed the rules of the game and it wasn't shown on camera, and that it meant that someone else won, and she was disappointed because obviously MrBeast is supposed to be this wholesome person who does what he says he does. However, after Rosanna came out against MrBeast, there was quite a lot of backlash, and she subsequently issued an apology and said she should have handled it in private. However, later on, she redacted her apology, and she has since come out again in more recent times against MrBeast, but this time it's more about unsafe working conditions in his videos. So as I said, MrBeast does these big budget videos, and in more recent years, he's been involving lots of participants in these kind of game show style videos where they have to do lots of challenges that are often very physical. And one of the more recent ones is a series that was actually sponsored by Amazon, and it's called Beast Games. And it's supposed to be one of the largest online game shows that's ever existed, with a huge prize at the end. However, Rosanna said that she had received messages from lots of people who appeared in the Beast Game videos saying that there were multiple allegations, for example, that there were unsafe working conditions on set, that people weren't being given medicine and they were fainting on set because they didn't get medicine they needed. There was also apparently a lack of water and food. And also she was saying that she received messages from people saying that they had contestants who were obviously from all walks of life, but they realized that the games themselves were very much favored towards athletic men, and the men realized that they could tackle the women participants and injure them, and apparently the women were then just being dragged off set and the men weren't getting any repercussions for doing this, and the reason they were doing this was to try and get the women and older contestants out of the competition to enable the men to have a bigger chance of winning. So in general, Rosanna, as well as several other people, were exposing a lot of accusations of really dangerous working conditions on set. And it was also alleged that MrBeast had deliberately chosen non-union workers, which means that you get less rights and things like that. And he was trying to circumnavigate a lot of the rules to do with working conditions and things like that. And there had also been other people who came out against MrBeast saying that other videos, not just the Beast Games, but previous videos he did, also had very unsafe working conditions. There was also some old messages that Jimmy wrote many years ago that contained a lot of racist and homophobic language, and people were saying that Jimmy was trying to sweep a lot of this under the rug and that he shouldn't have said a lot of this stuff to begin with. Although some people did defend Jimmy and said that this is when he was a lot younger and he's now learnt from it, and Jimmy did post an apology and acknowledge some of this previous inappropriate language he had used. But then more recently, a few ex-employees of MrBeast have also come out and made several allegations against him. One of the most prominent ones is a YouTube user called Dogpack404 who has released 2 videos with multiple accusations about MrBeast. So Dogpack404 says that he used to work for MrBeast, and in the first video he posted, he said that there were multiple things that Jimmy did wrong. For example, he said that the videos were faked, there was a lot of CGI, that the people in the videos weren't actually genuine contestants, that they were family and friends, and that it was misrepresentative to say that they weren't. And he also claimed that some of the videos that MrBeast does, the live streams, where he sells things like t-shirts and other merch, he would say he was giving away prizes to people. So for example, the 100th person to buy something would get a prize. And these are called lotteries in the legal definition. And Dogpack404 in his video said that these lotteries were illegal and not complying with the legal regulations of what a lottery is, because apparently people wouldn't actually receive the money or wouldn't receive their goods, or that MrBeast was changing the rules about the giveaways, and that is against the rules of what a lottery is. In response to the first of Dogpack404's videos, one of MrBeast's current employees called Chucky did a lengthy post on X refuting a lot of the claims made in the video, but it was basically saying a lot of what Dogpack404 was saying was not actually true, or there were reasonable explanations to explain them. And in terms of the illegal lotteries, I did see that recently a very well-known channel called Legal Eagle posted a video about this, and the man who does the videos is an actual lawyer. And in the video, he went through some of Dogpack404's claims about the illegal lotteries. And I'll put a link to the full video so you can see, because it was very interesting. But the TLDR of it is that some of what was being claimed about them being illegal may not actually be true, and it may not have been illegal, although some of it might have been. It comes down to the jurisdiction of where it happens. But Legal Eagle did say that some videos online, not just Dogpack's but other people's, were making statements saying that Jimmy had done something illegal, but because they weren't actually lawyers, some of the stuff they said wasn't actually true. Dogpack404 released a second video with more allegations, and in the second video, Dogpack404 interviewed another former employee of MrBeast called Jake Weddle. And in the video, Jake talked about accusations of things that he had either seen, heard, or witnessed during his time with MrBeast. And a lot of these were similar. So for example, faking videos, faking reactions, hiring people that Jimmy knew, but not stating that he actually knew them or that they were family. But one of the more serious accusations that Jake said is that one of the people who was hired to work on the MrBeast videos was a person who has the nickname Delaware. And this person, Delaware, is a registered offender and is on the registered offender list for having committed inappropriate acts with a child of 11 years old. And in the video, Jake said that everyone knew that this person was on the register and that it was highly inappropriate and wrong for MrBeast to have hired someone like this, especially because the MrBeast channel is predominantly aimed towards children. Jake also said that this person not only worked for MrBeast, but was also a manager at the company, and also appeared in some of MrBeast's videos, and apparently wore a mask to avoid showing his face on camera. And apparently MrBeast has since tried to get rid of all traces of this person having worked at the company. And Jake also asserted that the reason Delaware is named Delaware as a nickname is because apparently he is not allowed to go to Delaware, presumably because that's where the crimes were committed, so he's not allowed to go back. However, after this video came out and the very serious allegations about hiring someone who's on the offender list, someone named Jake Franklin, who has appeared in MrBeast videos in the past, posted on X and said that he is actually the brother-in-law of Delaware, and he refuted a lot of things that Jake had said in the video, and I'll put the full post of what he said, but the TLDR is that yes, Delaware is on the offender list because of something that happened with an 11-year-old, and he took a plea deal. But he said that Delaware is actually a good person, a good father and husband. And he said that MrBeast was aware of his status of being on the register, because that was something that was maybe slightly contended in the original video by Dogpack404. They weren't sure if Jimmy actually knew about this, but they said that he probably did. So there have been lots of accusations against Jimmy by multiple different people, but there have also been quite a few people who've defended Jimmy with explanations. But at the moment, a lot of this is just supposition and we don't really know what's true and what isn't. And as these allegations blew up in the last few weeks or so, Jimmy, aka MrBeast, hasn't really responded that much to it. However, people were posting online saying that the MrBeast channel was very quickly censoring and removing any comments on their videos that were in any way negative or mentioning any of these allegations. And people were posting screen grabs of them posting comments and they were removed within seconds. So people were saying that MrBeast clearly was aware of these allegations and was trying to silence any criticism. However, it looks like MrBeast has now responded. In a confidential memo that was sent to employees of MrBeast, and this memo was obtained by several different news agencies, Jimmy has apparently ordered a full investigation of the allegations of inappropriate behavior by people in the MrBeast company. And he has apparently hired a top law firm to do this investigation. So as I said, there are multiple different parts to this story, but this was just a very quick rundown, a TLDR version of the various different allegations against MrBeast. As I said earlier, a lot of this is pure speculation and none of it has been proven or gone to court as of yet. I'm just simply reporting on information in the public domain, but this video is just for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as legal or any other sort of information. So we'll have to wait and see if any further developments come out about this and whether this will affect MrBeast and his career going forward. So there you go, there was a very quick TLDR of the main points about the allegations against YouTuber MrBeast. Let me know in the comments if you were aware of these allegations and if you were aware of MrBeast as a creator. And let me know if you enjoy these type of TLDR videos and whether I should do more of them in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll join me again in some future videos. And if you would like to support my channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button because it really does help support my channel. And if you'd like to support my channel even more, please consider subscribing to my Patreon. You'll get early access to my videos as well as a raft of other benefits, and I will put a link in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the future. Thank you, bye!